Okay.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Thalia and this is Alya. We're the
Hello.
co-founders of Eduloco. So we decided to start our Loco podcast to inspire other students who want to study abroad. So our goal is to basically interview students that are currently studying abroad or have already studied abroad and ask them about their experiences to help other students to make better decisions and when it comes to their higher education. So today, as our first episode,
Our first ever
Alya
episode.
and I will be sharing our study abroad experiences. So without further ado, Alya, tell us your experience in studying abroad here in Malaysia, and start with what made you decide to study abroad.
Alright, okay, so I'm gonna keep it short because I tend to over-explain myself. So for background, I'm from Indonesia. I studied abroad in Malaysia and I just graduated last year. Well, I just recently graduated. So ever since I was in high school, I knew I don't want to continue to public university or local university in Indonesia. So I've always known I'm gonna study abroad anyways. Fun fact, I was actually about to go to Germany, but then I gave up.
Wow, it's like you were showing off your German skills.
Yeah. We don't talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I gave up because there was a lot of tests and I was a high school student. You know how like you're in high school and then you're not an ambitious one. You're just like, let me just have fun with my friends instead of taking care of my future. But yeah, so then my sister studied in Malaysia and a lot of my family from my dad's side actually studied in Malaysia. So Malaysia was like a safe spot and then my parents actually condoned me to go here. So I had my parents to thank. And yeah, so I went to Malaysia, I went to APU, I studied international relations and it was fun for 6 months and then the pandemic happened.
So I wanted to know, when you were applying to APU, what was your, perception of APU? What was your expectation? Like, obviously you were doing some research on social media, on their website, on YouTube, or whatever that was available back then. And then you made it to APU and arrived in Malaysia. How would you compare the expectations versus reality?
They don't really advertise much in the website. Like, I didn't know what to expect. It's quite hard to find a real picture because APU is also, it's a new building, so not a lot of people actually talk about it. So I didn't know what to expect, and fortunately for me, when I went there, when I met all my friends, have my communities, it's actually better than expected. But it's definitely a great area for me because I didn't know what I was signing up for because there was lack of information, lack of pictures, so I really didn't know, but fortunately it worked out for me.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we were just in APU last week, right? And I really enjoyed the campus as well. It's very modern, and a lot of
hot
activities. Yeah, it's really hot there, but interesting.
How about you? Like, let's talk about your experience.
Well, I didn't really do well in high school. I was a C student. So my mom gave me an ultimatum. She's like, if you don't get your grades together, this was in grade 11, then you're gonna stay in the Philippines. So I had to drop. So I was basically doing like 4 sports in a whole school year, and I had to drop the rest of it and only keep 1. So I had to drop like swimming,
4 sports,
volleyball, basketball, and I was only able to join football. But that was like the last season, not the last season of sport by like the end of the year, towards the end of the year. So I had to focus in school.
I have to be smart for once.
And then they asked me like, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to travel for a living. And they're like, okay, you either should be a flight attendant or work in hospitality. And I don't want to work on the plane, you know? So my stepdad. Anyway, so they're like, okay, then you study in Switzerland because that's where the good hospitality schools are. And so we went to a school fair, an education fair.
In Manila?
Yeah, in Manila. And then I saw the uni there, and then they immediately gave us like an entrance scholarship, even if I was very dumb. Just kidding. I had decent grades. I had more than 3.5 GPA. So I think that was quite decent. They gave us an entrance scholarship, and then I started my application process, my visa process, and so that was around August of 2015, and then by November of 2015 I left for Switzerland.
Oh wow.
And then I started my study abroad. Obviously I was doing a lot of research. I was on YouTube, Google Images, website, and to talk about expectation versus reality, I was very disappointed.
Oh no, we're the complete opposite.
Yeah, because like they were taking a lot of corporate photos, like even campuses or buildings, and I was basically looking at the campus buildings, but then when I made it there, it's not how it's like, right? Even accommodations, I mean, Switzerland, everything is super old and ancient. I'm just kidding. But that's my experience, right? Because the university or the place that I went to, they didn't really make a lot of content back then. That was 2015. There was no TikTok yet. It was only Vine.
Oh yeah, Vine.
I mean, Vine wasn't even existing yet. It was just YouTube and
entertainment.
Yeah, it was just YouTube and Instagram, and Instagram was just for photos. And so now I think there's more content available about the university or any universities in general, but in terms of the students making their own content or really authentic organic content, they're not there yet. And
it's a bit scattered,
and that's what we're trying to fill in the gap, right? So in Eduloco, our goal is to provide transparency to students so that they can make better decisions. So to conclude, that was our experience in terms of selecting our uni or searching for what it's like there, and then arriving to the study destination and how our if our expectations were met or not.
Takeaways though, I think we both quite unprepared when we were in high school. And I feel like if I had known what it's like to go to school in Germany and see vlogs of people doing it, kind of motivates me to actually learn about the language instead of dropping out halfway.
Because actually, just to give you some information in overseas education, there's actually a lot of students that apply to study abroad. They are very well informed of the costs, living costs, tuition fees, personal expenses, transport, flights, whatsoever. Because why would you apply to something that you're not aware of how much it is, right? Or you're not qualified for? And they actually get accepted. They're all eligible, but there is a gray area where students don't know what it's like there on the other side of the bridge, right? And that's what universities or institutions are lacking, is providing content for these prospects. And
to know what it's like on the other side.
That's what we're trying to fill in the gap, to provide that information to students so that universities can reach their enrollment targets. Our next series would be a student from APU, so watch out for that if you're interested to study in APU next school year, September 2024
or even November this year.
There's a post-grad courses for November, but main intake is September. So if you're looking forward to that, watch our next series.
Bye guys.
Bye.